Well, government must realize that on this show, what we do is mold opinion and allow those who take decisions to gain from the opinions so expressed. All right, to our next story. You know, staggered or by-elections have become a way of life in our jurisdiction, no thanks to politicians who would not allow the ballot box to become the sole determinant of election outcomes. And so, ahead of by-elections slated for Saturday, February 3rd in Lagos, Kano, Plateau, and 23 other states across the country, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered a restriction of all forms of vehicular movement on roads from midnight tonight to 6 p.m. tomorrow. But we report that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has barred the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, from taking part in the exercise on Saturday. The party's logo is missing from the ballot. There is palpable tension in the Plateau today, as we speak.
Yeah, I think let's even first look at the decision that the IG has taken. This by-election is not taking place everywhere in our country.
Yeah.
They are taking place in very few local governments.
Even in Lagos, it's Surulere.
Surulere. And then you are announcing a ban on vehicular movement
throughout a state.
What is the meaning of that? I don't know who advises these people. This sort of thing happened in the past, and the decision was reversed. People need to go out and look for their daily bread. Why are you imposing restrictions when it's just a very small...
very tiny.
Yes, part of our country where these elections will take place. Just one federal constituency in Lagos. In Surulere, it's just one federal constituency of Surulere.
Yeah. How many polling booths? How many polling booths are we going to put in?
Not the whole Surulere.
And then you are saying people should not move around. We have 774 local governments. This election is taking place in less than even a quarter of those local governments. And we are saying people should not move around freely. It should only affect areas where the election will take place.
Yeah,
those
understandably so.
Yes, like where elections, when you go to some countries, even our neighbors, even on election day, there's no restriction.
In Ghana, for instance,
people
just go and
to the market. You vote, and then you go and continue your normal life. Not that you shut down the whole country because of an election. So I hope that the IG will reverse this decision to say, except if the press statement, maybe there's an error in the press statement that I mean, this a nationwide. We don't need a nationwide ban on vehicular movement.
You get the impression that the country is going on a national election again.
And it's not. It's not a national election in the real sense of the word. In terms of the number of people that will take part, we also all know that by-elections, turnout is usually extremely low.
Yes, because of apathy.
You won't even have a feeling that election
is taking place.
Even in that rural area, you won't even have a feeling that election is taking place because many people will simply ignore it. So let's leave our people. Let our people. They are going through a lot already. Let them be able to go out and look for their daily bread. So that's one. Talking about what happened in Plateau State, INEC insists that the PDP would not be allowed to take part in the election. And what INEC is saying is, look, the appeal court order is what they are staying, they are abiding by. And what INEC usually does is, it will abide by the last court order. If that order is set aside, INEC will abide by the decision setting aside. For now, no court has set aside that appeal court decision.
Yeah.
Based on that appeal court decision, House of Assembly, House of Reps, members have lost their seats because it was said that they did not, that the party defied a court order that it should conduct congresses. So they conducted congresses, I think in 5 places or so. For that reason, those guys lost their seats. And the appeal court is the final court in electoral litigation affecting House of Reps, House of Assembly, and the Senate. It doesn't get...
Don't go to the Senate.
But is it possible that for the House of Reps, the matter stops at the appeal?
Both the
all of them,
Senate and House of Reps and the House of Assembly.
Apart from governorship and governor and presidential.
Appeal.
Yes.
Even governorship used to.
It used to be exactly until Amechi.
Until no, there's Sullivan Chime.
Oh, Sullivan Chime. Okay,
yeah.
Yes. Before the thing now went to Supreme Court.
Now, INEC is insisting that as long as that
order
is substituting order,
it has to abide. So is that order?
Yeah, INEC is
You know, it was even a PDP member, Bitrus Kaze, that actually sued his own party to say, look, the conduct of our congresses
voided,
were not transparent and all that. The PDP claimed that it conducted primaries, but the court said there was no document, no communication to it, indicating that indeed they conducted those congresses.
All right.
So for that reason, the
null and void.
Yes, it was rendered null and void. So that is that is where we are on that matter. That's why they removed them from the ballot.
Okay, all right. Charles, but mine is, it's a two-way street. While we are saying the IG was a little high-handed in shutting down a large chunk of the country.
26 states out of
31.
31 plus Abuja.
Yeah,
that's a whole lot.
So it's a two-way street. The politicians in the country must give us a long break, because if they abided by the rule of the game, we won't be here.
But who do you blame? First, you make laws available, and the laws are supposed to be obeyed by all and sundry. You don't select the laws you want to obey and then say, okay, this one is not applicable to me. Okay, we've been gravitating towards a high tech or what we call this internet-based election and all that, where we're talking about electronic transmission, voting, BVAS and all that.
Even accreditation.
Accreditation, the BVAS. Why do we have all those acronyms? You have BVAS, you have IREV, you have all manner of jargon they are telling us. It is to get our electoral system right, where you would reduce the human interface.
A hurry, Charles? Are we in a
hurry? We're not in a hurry. I think, okay, maybe you are making haste too slowly, if you will. So it's to, the reason why we're going that way is to reduce the human interface and also to reduce this analog way of counting that is prone to corruption. So if you deploy the internet, for instance, you can disrupt whatever. Now, okay, but what are the people doing? They said that as even the umpire INEC. How INEC has INEC been above board? Even is INEC also following its own guidelines in all this? INEC is also culpable.
Charles, when you have an environment where you can't punish bad behavior, anything.
Yeah, exactly, because people you embolden them. Because, okay, look at, just like we talk about now. Okay, what is the business of people in far-flung areas like Alabado, Alakuko, who are going to be shut down in their homes tomorrow?
Only 121,000 people
exactly.
are going to vote.
So you shut them down because they are thinking that when people move around and know that they're going to be affected.
In a city
of about 20-something million or so. So what we are saying is that can we continue to improve on the electoral process by relying more on the issue of this high-tech or digital election like they do overseas? okay, if I mention overseas, I think I mentioned places that are too far flung. Even in Ghana, I have a friend of mine who lived and did business in Ghana for a long time, Theophilus Akatuba. He was in Ghana, and he has told me about how they do it, just like what you said. You go to the market, for instance, maybe you go to Igbo. After casting your vote, you go to Igbo market. Yes. You just say, okay, this is what I voted. They move around and nobody does anything. But here, you need to shut down a whole economy. Economy that's already fragile.
Yes.
People don't know where the next meal will come. People don't know exactly what is going to happen to them next. Then you shut down the economy. There are people who are into vocations. They don't feed except they go out that same day.
Yeah.
The vulcanizers and all that.
Bus drivers.
Bus drivers. Then you shut them down for how many? It says 6 a.m. to
12.
That's a whole day.
To 6.
Okay, what business will you do between after 6 p.m.?
Midnight tonight to 6 p.m.
Okay, what business would you do when the curfew is
12 a.m. to 6 p.m.
6. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole day. So okay, after 6 p.m. it's okay. You cannot go out. What business will you do? Okay, how many passengers will you carry? I mean, what's your turnover between 6 p.m. and the people are going to go to bed?
In the United States of America, they have the American dream. I think the British also have the British dream. Do we have a dream here?
Maybe before I was born, there was a dream.
No, there is a dream.
Okay, what's the Nigerian dream?
To make Nigeria great.
You're still dreaming.
The Nigerian dream is not supposed to be simply our opinion. It should be something that everybody...
Yeah, we see exactly. Yes.
It should be something that everybody
it runs like a thread.
Knows.
It runs like a vision statement of a vision or mission statement.
Mission, vision
not
statement.
One
exactly, not one person.
Yeah.
So when you ask him that question, you are telling him to give in his view.
My own view.
Wow.
The Nigerian dream. So what you say will be different.
I'm looking at a country that's going to be 64 years in how many months from here? We're still torturing.
Oh, you see, and some
by
of these
choice.
Things, honestly,
it is by choice.
Some of these things, when our electoral culture gets better, nobody...
When?
No, gradually we'll get there. But the politicians need to change their ways. Politicians who deliberately go to disrupt elections where they know they don't stand
they don't stand
yes.
Those guys, they don't want to see democracy thrive. So the IG thinks, if we do not stop politicians, for example, from going around with their security aids on election day, they will use those security aids to arrest their political opponent. They will use them to disrupt polling and all that. So this action that is taken is like a preemptive action. They are taking preemptive action because he's explaining that if we don't do it, people will move around with buses full of thugs and they will be attacking police centers.
Okay. I hear Bielsa wants to come online. Why not? Maybe we hear you are in faraway Bielsa. What can you tell us? Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Do you have by-election in your state?
Bielsa is fine.
Do you have by-election there?
No, we don't have.
Maybe
Yes, we don't have. My contribution is with regards what Mr. Kolade said concerning INEC banning the PDP from participating in the Plateau election. He said there is no court that has vacated the appeal court judgment.
Yes.
I think that is not right.
Okay.
If you remember, the appeal court judgment that nullified the elections of the senators, House of Reps, and the assembly members also nullified the governor's election. But the governor's election, the governor could appeal his own to Supreme Court. And Supreme Court validated that decision and said the appeal court judges were wrong. So based on that, INEC should put those on the ballot.
What would they go to?
Another order. So that is my
there's no superior court to go.
Let me just explain. You see, those guys were unfortunate because the matter of House of Assembly, House of Reps, Senate elections terminates at the level of the appeal court.
Yeah.
The governor is lucky because governorship gets
Yeah, they have a window.
Court.
Yes, exactly.
You know, governorship gets to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court gave that position. The Supreme Court did not give a consequential order that, based on the judgment that it has given in respect of the governor of Plateau State, whatever the appeal court said is null and void. The Supreme Court never gave that order.
That's it.
The Supreme Court stuck to
The governorship.
the governorship petition and said it was wrong for them to have sacked the governor. He didn't say that they should bring those people back. So no court has set aside that. No court can even set it aside because by the law, it terminates at the appeal court.
That's it.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court has no jurisdiction in that to give judgment on a matter that the appeal court as the final court has given judgment over. So that is the thing.
All right.
It is not right. It is not true that a court has set it aside, and I stand by that.
So, coming back to Lagos, because there's something Jerry said about is calling the IGP to reverse this order. So, if he's listening, so may I suggest that they could do what they do in Lagos that have been very effective. If you are fixing a particular road, then you give direction, alternative route and all that. So can the IG, can the IG tell people, can the IG tell us to say, okay, avoid Western Avenue, avoid Alaka, avoid the Jesha.
So what they can just do is, okay,
simple.
The local governments affected.
This
ban will be enforced.
Exactly, simple.
Yeah.
Not the
So
whole
leave what is saying.
Okay, look at the maybe told us now that there is no by-election in by.
Yes.
And this directive is nationwide.
Are you saying that? Are you saying the volume of business that usually takes place in Alaba will not do that? They will not do that tomorrow.
And they are so far away from
so far away. And the Keja, a computer village. You talk about all these other areas that it doesn't make any sense.
Gentlemen, the cynic had said, Jide and Charles, cynic had said, advice is like castor oil, easy to give, difficult to take. We have done a bit, so we must.
The advice is not difficult to take. People should
easy to give, difficult to take.
Or you the administrator will not want to take it.
Now, if you can,
yes,
if you look at the advice that someone has given you, if it makes sense, you take it. It's not a big thing, a big deal to take advice.
Yes.
All right. So I hear we must go, and so we want to thank the backroom boys and all those who have made it possible for you to see us. So our job for the day is done, and we want to thank Jide for coming.
Thank you.
Charles, Idel, many thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Keep the Onwa proverbs coming.
Let's pray for the Super Eagles.
Oh, okay. But Jide, there was sorry. Is God interested in football?
Charles,
is God interested in football?
Charles, the match is 6 minutes away.
Okay.
And if you missed any part of this broadcast, join us later tonight at 11 for a repeat. But on Sunday, we'll extend the affair for you from 1:30 to 3:30. Just to also say, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.